Welcome back to another Wandavision review. We are back here to talk about episode 5, titled On a Very Special Episode. Yes, this is a very special episode because we got a lot in this episode, and we're not going to waste no time. We're going to jump straight into this because we start off the episode. We got Wanda and Vision trying to rock their babies to sleep. They're over there trying to dance and also rock the babies to sleep. None of that was working. They put the babies in the crib, tried to give them pacifiers. They wouldn't stop crying. Then we get a barge in from Agnes. Agnes offers her help. Vision is like, stuttering and stuff, saying, nah, we don't need your help. And basically Agnes, she does something weird here because she's like, do you want me to take that from the top? And turns to Wanda. Vision looking confused, we're looking confused. Wanda, she looks confused, okay, but she knows what's going on, okay? Wanda knows what's going on. But she plays this off, basically saying, what do you mean? You can watch the kids, alright? You can help us out. And she goes to the side with Vision. Vision is like, I know you seen what I seen. Like, I know I ain't tripping. So we cut to Sword showing off Monica. Monica just came out of the Hex. That's what they're calling the anomaly, the Hex. So we get her getting Tess after she got pushed out of there. We get Jimmy Woo walking in with Darcy Lewis. Darcy Lewis like, yeah, you're gonna need pants for the briefing. The briefing is basically about Wanda and everything that's going on. Jimmy Woo starts off the briefing and he explains basically from the beginning of when we know Wanda to now, alright, through all that, the Avengers stuff and all that. So he's giving all the good things about Wanda, but Director Hayward has different things in mind because he brings up all the bad things Wanda has done, like attacking the Avengers, controlling the Hulk, and also the fact that she is the whole reason of the Sokovia Accords because what she did in Lagos. Alright, not only because the Sokovia situation, but the Lagos situation on top of that, she was a main cause of that. So as he's bringing all this up, Jimmy Woo is getting aggravated. He's like, yo, like, and you could just see the frustration on Jimmy Woo's face. So Director Hayward pushes Woo to the side. Woo goes over there by Darcy Lewis and he's like, I don't usually say bad things about people. And Darcy Lewis just takes the wheel and says, yeah, Director Hayward is really and it cuts. But when it cuts, it goes back to Director Hayward. And the first word we hear from him is terrorist. All right, they're connecting that. Director Hayward is a very suspicious man. And we already thought that he was on to something, okay? He has a secret plan. He knew what was going on here before we even got here. Because think about it, back to when Monica Rambeau went back to the Sword facility, her card was turned off. Director Hayward was right there waiting on her, okay? He knew that she was going to show up. And with her card being off, he knew he was going to be right there to catch her. So not only that, it was the fact that Monica Rambeau was supposed to be next in line to be the director of Sword, but Hayward is that director. He knew she was a threat, okay, and that's why he sent her to the anomaly before he sent anybody else, because he wanted her to disappear. He don't want her to take his spot as the director, and I feel like this is all a plan of Hayward. I don't know if Hayward is connected to the whole Wanda situation, but I knew he knew about that Wanda situation, and I know he's a bad person. But we cut back to the kids, okay, the twins are in the kitchen, and they're playing in soap in the kitchen, and Wanda walks in and she's like, yo, what are y'all doing? Usually y'all don't stay in one place and y'all making a human wall to block something. So she goes over to the sink and within the bubbles we find a dog, okay? There's this dog and she's like, where did you get the dog from? Billy is sitting there like, the dog was outside crying and was alone. I felt that situation. Like it was like a warm, like my heart was warm in that situation. But yeah, we continue to talk about the dog, and basically Vision walks in and asks the same question and asks where this new face came from. But then Agnes pops up out the blue, and Vision is like, Agnes always pops up out the blue with something we need. She walks in with a dog house, which I don't know how she knew they had a dog already. But that situation happened, and the dog walks up to an outlet and starts playing with the outlet, and it sparks up. So meanwhile, Agnes is asking what's the name of the dog, Vision's asking what's the name of the dog, and Agnes just goes out and says Sparky, because the outlet sparked up when the dog touched it, so it was like right there. And that is the name of Vision's dog in the comics. So out of nowhere in front of Agnes, Wanda spawns a collar that says the name Sparky on it. And Vision is like, why did you just use your powers in front of Agnes? We supposed to be hiding our powers. And she's like, oh, Agnes seen the babies grow to 4-year-olds, so it should be okay. And Vision is just like, he's confused about the whole situation. He's like, okay. And they move on. All right, we cut back to Sword. Sword is basically trying to come up with ideas how to get back into the Hex. And while they're coming up with ideas, Jimmy Woo asks, do we have the identity of the kids? Monica says, no, that's her kids, she made those, all right? And Jimmy Woo is like, okay, so she's more stronger than we've seen her before. She's making things. And Monica's like, yeah, she's very strong because she could have took down Thanos. Jimmy Woo says also Captain Marvel could have. Darcy Lewis brings up the fact that wasn't Captain Marvel powered by Infinity Stone too? And Monica, you see, like, she feels something from that situation. Like, she felt some type of way when Darcy Lewis brought it up. She didn't want to think about that because, remember, she is that kid from Captain Marvel. She's the little girl. And that is the connection between her and Captain Marvel. Monica picks up a picture off the evidence board and sparks up an idea. They rush over to where Monica's clothes were from inside the Hex. She shoots at the clothes, and basically the clothes is 90% Kevlar, okay? These clothes, they were changed from what she was wearing to what Wanda wanted. So that sparked up an idea, and we cut back to Wanda, all right? Wanda sitting in the living room and basically talking to the twins. The twins are like, where's Dad at? She's like, oh, he's at work. And they was like, Vision don't go to work on Sundays. She was like, oh no, it's Monday. But they was like, no, but yesterday was Saturday. And they're just confused about that situation, and Wanda had to sit them down. She was like, well, there's certain situations where me and your dad don't agree on something. He just has to get distracted for a moment. All right, and this is her way of distracting Vision from what's really going on. She sends him to work. So she hears something outside. She rushes outside, tells the kids to stay in the house. The kids don't stay, okay? They walk out there with her. And we see a drone, all right? A drone appears, controlled by Sword. Monica's trying to talk through the drone, basically trying to reason with Wanda. It's not working, okay? Wanda shows these evil eyes, and I'm just intimidated through the TV. I'm like, okay, y'all need to stop messing with Wanda. Her eyes just turned red, and she looks very sinister. Director Hayward, being right next to Monica while she's trying to reason with Wanda, he orders them to shoot. All right, he orders them to shoot at Wanda, and the visual cuts off. The camera cuts off, and they hear there's something coming out of the anomaly. So when they go outside, they go out there, and we see Wanda coming through the Hex wall. She throws the drone at Sword, and she demands them to stop messing with her and to stay away from her home. Monica tries to reason again and says, Wanda, you trust me, don't you? You let me deliver your baby. You let me come in your house. Monica asks, what do you want, Wanda? Wanda says she already has what she wants. And she controls all the Sword soldiers to point at Hayward, and she continues to walk back into the Hex. And when she walks into the Hex wall turns red. So I think it's like a little stronger wall. She reinforced it with her powers. So the twins and Wanda are looking for Sparky and end up finding Sparky with Agnes. Agnes found Sparky dead. She was trying to wrap him up before bringing Sparky back to him. And they're just looking there sad. They look at Wanda. They're like, you can bring him back, can't you? You can bring back the dead. And right there, Wanda froze. She was looking at Agnes. Agnes said, you can do that? You can bring back the dead? And this when Vision walks up while all this awkward stuff is going on. He's like, you can bring back what? And he noticed the situation. He comforts the kids. Fast forward to later that day, Wanda and Vision's in the kitchen, and they're talking about the whole situation with the lost dog. But then Vision brings up the fact that he talked to Norm earlier that day about that situation at work. So earlier in the episode, Vision was at work and Norm asked for help. Vision went over there to help him with his computer, and there was a message that popped up from Sword. Everybody in the room recited what the message said, and then Vision knew something was wrong. All right, so he put his hands on the computer, turned off the computer, then he put his hands on Norm's head and took off whatever spell was on him. Norm started panicking. He was asking, where's people at? He was like, how long have I been here? And then there was a whole bunch going on there, and Vision just said, all right, that's enough. He put his hands back on Norm's head and set him back to normal. And Vision knew something was wrong just off that, because Norm freaked out. He realized that Norm was under a spell. So Vision brings this up and Wanda pretends like she doesn't know what he's talking about. Wanda then proceeded to turn on the credits. She was trying to end the show and Vision was like, no, you're not about to end this, and then change the scenery again, because I feel like he knows and he noticed like how everything keeps changing. I think he caught on to this. So he follows Wanda in the living room and he's like, just tell me the truth, Wanda. And they're both angry. Vision starts to float. He starts to fly in the living room. Wanda flies up to him and they're both just floating in the living room, arguing about the situation. They both calm down, come back to the ground, and Vision acts like, why don't I see any kids around here? Every time I go to work, I don't see any kids on the playground. There's something wrong about that. And Wanda is like, so you believe that I'm controlling everybody out here? You think I'm helping people mow their lawns and get to their dentist appointments on time? And as they're going back and forth, we get a ring at the doorbell. Wanda walks to the door. Vision is like, you planned for this, didn't you? Wanda was like, I had nothing to do with this. She walked to the door, and when she opened it, she had a shocked face. We cut to Darcy Lewis looking at the screen, watching the show, and she says, oh my God, Pietro has been recast. So that's how they did it. Pietro shows up at the door with Wanda, and Pietro says, long lost brother gets to squeeze his sister or what? At this moment, I was very excited because now Quicksilver is back. He's been recast, and they had a good way of explaining how we got this new Quicksilver, because it is a TV show. As of on the show, it's a TV show because Darcy Lewis was watching this and she said that Quicksilver has been recast. So that's a good creative way how they got their Quicksilver back. Quicksilver was the end of the episode, so we're gonna find out more about him and what's going on in episode 6. So y'all make sure to come back for that. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all did, go ahead and leave a like. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. Yes, that's subscribe with that big red scribble button. Also the bell button so you be notified when I upload more videos. And not only will you get them new videos, but you would also be entered into a giveaway. And if I reach 1,000 subs before this series is over, I'll dye my hair gray. Okay, I'll dye my hair gray like Quicksilver, and I will call myself Quicksilver. Your boy Dre is out. Splash.